the second part of... I'm jumping to the second part of the question. The reason we're not doing 90-degree offset shooting is because of the way we want to run our intake and indexer. Our goal is to connect those and run them off of the same motor, just to like reduce complexity, and so that we don't have to like have as many motors on our robot. And so in order to do that and prevent jams in our shooter from like effectively constantly indexing while we're intaking, we're gonna have to run our shooter on low speed and like shoot the fuel back into our like holder. And if it was 90 degrees offset, that would just like not work, and we'd just be spitting out cargo the fuel the whole time. So yeah. There was like the original question about the multi-barrel shooting.
Yeah, you're gonna...
Were we answering that? I don't know what the... You had more profound thoughts than I did.
Back to the multi-barrel shooting thing too. One, a lot of complexity, of course. You have to install 2 whole shooters. 2, more complexity on the hopper as well. You have to be able to divide like all of your storage into 2 hoppers very evenly. If one is like offset, you're going to be basically one shooter at that point, because everything's going to be feeding to one side, and once you shoot a few on the other, that's run out.
And it would also open you up to a lot more areas of jamming, and it increases the complexity in how you have to like agitate the fuel in order to get it where you need to go.
So instead of adding a second shooter, I would venture more towards increasing your speed of feeding your shooter, because those 2 things are pretty much identical in their output. Also,
if you want multi-directional.
Yeah.
I know turrets are like complicated, but like turret.
Yeah.
Like if you're on a swerve drive base, just like rotate yourself, I guess.
Yeah, and this was also a small thought yesterday, was if you're having 2 shooters running at the same time and you're shooting to the same spot, what's stopping the collisions there?
Yeah.
There's potential for collisions in the air that will knock balls away from each other and end up to less scores overall than if you just have one consistent shooter feeding a single cycle.
In your alliance zone to score, and so if you're like, you only really need to shoot in one direction, so having 2, I don't know if it's gonna do more for your rate of fire than it will, like I don't know if it's gonna, the rate of fire increase that it will have is like more than the complexity of trying to design a multi-barrel.
Yeah, and plus you have to consider the fact that you have 2 other teammates as well.
Yeah.
So you're just adding a 4th stream of fuel into the mix, so that's probably not a smart idea for the max efficiency. Yeah.